Is Fernando Gonzalez, and here we are in our assignment 3, Vending Machine Simulator. We will be starting off in our package vending models, and we are in our public enum. We have the 4 types being declared, and then our descriptions alongside them, the private string descriptions, so that those are able to exist, and then our constructor class, which creates that description alongside them, and then our overridden toString that returns that a normally formatted description as a string. And here we move on to our item class, just our constructor, and then a getter for a price and name, and then our overridden toString, which formats the string and returns it, just name, price, and then item type, and calling that toString method. And then here we are in our vending machine method, our vending machine class, importing array list, part of the package as well, initializing our variables, initializing that array list, and we are starting off with the constructor class. All it does is grab the location and then initializes the array list and balance. Here we have our addition, add item. All it does is add an item at the end of the array list, and our insert money. If the amount inserted is less than 0, it'll return an illegal argument exception, and it'll be cannot insert negative amount, and it'll return the amount given. If not, the balance will be that amount, or we will have that amount added, and we'll prompt the user that it's been inputted. And here we have our selected item method. If the index is negative, or if the index is greater than the array list's size, it'll throw an index out of bounds exception, saying that returning that selection blank does not exist, and that'll be the index given. If not, if the item is more expensive than the current balance, it'll throw an illegal argument exception, returning insufficient funds, and it will show the difference needed to complete that purchase. And then if not, the global sales will be added, and then our current balance will be subtracted by the item's cost, and then it'll be dispensed to show the change returned, and then it will remove the item and then set the current balance back to 0 because that has been dispensed. And then here we have an enhanced for loop in our display inventory method. All it does is have a placeholder for index number so that we can have that formatted correctly, and all it is an enhanced for loop going through printing out the item toString with the index. And here we have our getter class for global sales. Here we have our vending machine app. All it is being initialized, our everything in it, and then our while loop prompting the user for input. We have our input being grabbed as a string, and then if it's done, exit or 3, it will break the loop. If not, we have an int choice being initialized, and that input will try being casted as an integer into choice. And if it doesn't, here we have our number format exception, prompting the user for another input, and then that choice leads us to our cases, and we have 2 vending machine sessions, which is just our helper class, so that we weren't duplicating our code. And here we have just grabbing the scanner, grabbing which vending machine, and then the location that each one is going to be in. So we have our inventory at that location and running the display inventory. And if not, we have insert money amount, same thing. The input is being grabbed as a string, and then trying to be casted as a double in that money variable. If not, same thing, only input numbers. If not, it will try to insert that money, and if it is negative, it will do the illegal argument exception. And then our item selection will have our item choice, same thing, try to be casted as an integer, and if not, invalid input, only input numbers. And then we have our select item, and then if it is less than the current balance, or if it's greater than the current balance, illegal argument exception, and if not, it is an index out of bounds exception for if that selection doesn't exist. And here we have our file about to be run. So here we are, enter choice, 1. So if it's 0 money, and then 0, insufficient funds, random numbers, or random letters, and then we have our insert money, and then select item 3. It will not work. So then here we are grabbing that. All right. So 150. And then I will select delays and then exit. And then here we have our inventory report, and then it was dispensed and our change returned. Thank you very much.